checking on how you felt after being in the concussion protocol and getting back into the action. How did you feel physically?
I was a little rusty, obviously. I missed a couple easy shots, layups, and then a couple open shots that I thought I should usually make. But, to be honest, this is my first game in, I don't know, maybe like 2 weeks, because I played 7 minutes in that first game and then haven't played since before All-Star break. And I didn't play in that last game at SAC. So this is really my first time, playing in the game in a while. So I was a little winded. That first stretch, I thought I got through pretty well. But late in the game, my legs were getting a little heavy and a little winded. But, I looked at my minutes. I was like 23, and that's about what I played in the regular season, game by game. And, first game back, I thought I did pretty well with the minutes I got.
Alex, as a team, your defense has been in the top 3. It was number 3, I think, a couple games ago. Maybe it's 2 now, since AD went out. And just wondered what you've seen from the collective and sort of the guys that have stood out on that end, what Frank and his plan and stuff has weighed in for that, and how you would evaluate defense there.
Yeah, I think it's just a collective effort of being locked in. When we have 5 guys that are communicating, playing ahead and playing aggressive, our defense is usually pretty good. Every now and then we get a little lackadaisical and give up some transition points or some second chance points, just off easy stuff that's controllable by us. But I think we're doing a good job of growing and getting better at the schemes and working at, trying to be a better team. And it might not show up glaringly every night, but like you said, without arguably the defensive player of the year last year, without AD, we've been still top 3, top whatever in the league in defense. That just shows how, this is a team of good defenders rather than just, a couple of good players.
Kyle?
Yeah, Alex, I thought I'd just ask about your actual injury. It looked pretty scary. I was just sort of wondering what you experienced and if there were some symptoms kind of lingering for the next couple of days after that happened.
Yeah, I think it looked more gruesome than it actually was. I lost the ball, ran into somebody, can't remember who it was, and then hit my head, obviously pretty hard on the floor. Had a nice little bruise cut on the back of my head, and then just had a pretty bad headache, migraine for the next 48 hours or so. Nothing, didn't forget who I was, didn't, feel nauseous or sensitivity to light and stuff like that. It's just pretty bad headache, and that's kind of why I think I got back as quickly as I did. Just once that subsided, I went through a couple steps of the protocol and got cleared.
BT?
Alex, you've been with LeBron now for 3 seasons. How much do you still marvel at what he does, and do you think he's deserving of being MVP this year?
Yeah, somebody said it either last year or the year before. Like, you could give him the MVP every year if you really wanted to. He's just that good, and he really is so valuable. That's why you see years past, when he's on the court, is whatever the net rating of the team is really, really good. And then sometimes when he goes off, it's not as good. That's because he's that good of a player. He draws that much attention. And then even when you draw the attention, he makes the right decisions to get guys open shots. And, it makes my job easy, because I know guys are going to double team him. I just got to kind of find the open spot. And, his greatness, I can only, I could say this, that, or whatever, but y'all witness it. Everybody witnesses it night in, night out, year after year. Whatever season this is for him, 17, 18, 30, whatever. He goes out there and he does it every night. And it's pretty remarkable.
Dave?
Alex, thinking back to the bubble when you guys found out that Giannis won last year's MVP and the margin of voting was so far in his favor compared to LeBron, how did you guys react to it? And do you feel like it had any effect on the push that you guys had through the postseason?
I think we were all together when we found out. I don't think there was any big, rally cry around it as a team. LeBron might have had that personally within himself, but he doesn't need any extra motivation chasing after a championship. He was already pretty locked in. We were already pretty locked in. That might have, subliminally lit a fire under him, although there's already a fire under him every time you're in the playoffs. But they can go out there and do what they do, and people vote for stuff. But I mean, at the end of the day, players recognize, greatness. Like I said earlier, I'm not saying that Giannis isn't deserving of MVP. I mean, that dude is a monster. He is who he is. But I think the best player in the world today, yesterday, for a while now has been LeBron. So obviously I might be a little biased being his teammate and playing with him, but that's just kind of how I feel.
Okay, last two here. Michael Duarte.
Alex, you played with Lonzo and even against him now a couple times. What did you think of his little brother Lamelo in your first glimpse of going up against him tonight?
He's a good player, man. He's for a rookie, to be able to come in. I don't know what his finishing stat line was, close to probably like 26 and 6, and that's what he's been averaging for the last 20 games that he's been starting. And he's doing it against, good teams night in, night out. They're playing with great pace, and a lot of it is him just playing how he's played, since people have watched him in high school. And that's kind of how him and his brothers, that's kind of how they play, up tempo, get to the paint, create shots for others. And then he's doing a good job of carrying offensive threat too. Once the game slows down for him and he starts actually learning how to, put guys in position and do stuff like that, he's going to be a really, really good player. He's already a really, really good player, but obviously with time, you improve.
Okay, last question. Harrison Fagan.
Hey, Alex, you guys have won 4 games in a row now. I think you're 1.5 games back of the 1 seed. I was just wondering, is that anything that you all have talked about in the locker room about, like, hey, if we come out of this All-Star break strong, we can really make a push and kind of get back into the seeding race?
Yeah, I don't think the West is so competitive. I don't think you're ever out of the seeding race for whatever it is. But, that's not our goal. Our goal isn't to finish the regular season first in the West or first in the NBA. To win a championship at the end, so us coming out of the All-Star break, our focus has been on improving the stuff that we need to improve and holding ourselves accountable so we do it more consistently. That was really the only difference in us in the first half and us in the second half so far, is just, being able to hold each other accountable and make sure that we're not messing up on half the plays. It's 1 out of every 5 or 1 out of every 6, and trying to build and do that moving forward.
Thanks so much, AC. Have a nice evening.
Thanks, everybody.